We'll be getting started here in just a few minutes. Be sure to say hello in the chat if you're here. We'll get started at about 7:05, so we've got about 4 more minutes to let people get here and get set up. So have your yarn and your crochet hook ready, and tonight we're going to be working on the waffle stitch. Hi Graham, you're on time tonight. I'm so proud. Haven't got to talk to you yet today. Been kind of a busy day. Looks like Cheryl's here. Graham is here. I'm not sure if Chris is logged in or not. He's downstairs cleaning. Got about 2 more minutes and we'll go ahead and get started. Graham, you don't have company tonight? I know, I need to get over there. Beth gets her new apartment hopefully next Saturday. So she's gonna be here till then. But I might just have to have her tag along with me or come a night when she's not here and has something to do. I have a new computer, so hopefully everything will run smoothly tonight. If you guys have any issues with audio or video, you can't hear me, it's cutting out, skipping, freezing, please let me know in the chat so I can make adjustments as necessary. I only got the computer set up about an hour ago, so it's going to take a little bit of tweaking as we go, but I think for the most part we should be okay. Alright, it's 7:05, so we're going to go ahead and get started. See my pretty yarn. Woohoo! I decided to go ahead and use the yarn that you're seeing on the screen because I need to make some vests for my new retail space. So I figured once stream is over, I can wind this up and reuse it to make my vest. So we're going to go ahead and get started. I am going to encourage you to have stitch markers available if that's at all possible, just so you can mark your beginning and ending stitches. It's not a difficult stitch at all, but I just want you, I don't want anybody to lose their place, and I'm hoping that this will help if we use some stitch markers. You don't have to though. I'm always happy to go back and restart the row if needed. Just let me know. Still got our kitties up top. Looks like we got a couple tigers going on. All right. So the yarn that I am using tonight is going to be Lion Brand Mandala yarn. This yarn works really good for, like I've been telling you guys to use a variegated yarn. Walmart carries some colors of this, and Joann's and Michael's has cakes as well, a lot of cairn cakes in the variegated yarn. The variegated yarn works really good for blankets and whatnot so that you don't have to change colors as frequently, but you don't have as much control doing it this way. So if you want a little bit more control, you're going to obviously need to change your colors. So that is what I'm going to use tonight. And the nice thing about these cakes is a lot of them already have the center pull thread coming out. You don't have to dig through the center to find it. So it makes pulling your yarn out a little bit easier. All right. Sadly, Beth is not joining us tonight. She is working on, she's a hairstylist, so she's out doing somebody's hair. One sec. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do, like with everything we've been working on, is our slip knot. So you're going to wrap the yarn around your finger twice, grabbing from the back and pulling to the front. And you're grabbing the back again and pulling over the tip of your finger. Sorry, my nails aren't painted and manicured today. With setting up the new retail space, my nails have gone to poop. So I'm not even trying right now. Maybe we'll get lucky and they'll grow back. We'll see. So the first thing you're going to do with a waffle stitch is you're going to make your chain in multiples of 3. If you're just practicing tonight, you can do maybe 21 stitches if that works for you, 15. You just want to make sure you have a good amount to see the pattern working itself out. So go ahead and do your set of 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. I'm going to go ahead and do 21 just because that gives me a good width to work with, to where you should be able to see the waffle pattern coming out. Let me know when you have your chain. Put in the chat how many stitches you have, just so you don't forget. You can scroll up later on if you need to. Mm-hmm. 21. Okay, Cheryl, you're going to go ahead and do 21. I think it's just me and you for right now, so we'll just go ahead and keep going. So the next thing you're going to do, now you have your chain of 21, you're going to add 4. This is going to be your turning chain. So add 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So for both of us, that'll make a total of 25. And then you're going to want to go into the third chain from your hook with a double crochet. 1, 2, 3. Again, going into that bar. Let me go ahead and pull that in a little closer. So you have, for anybody new that might be watching this with us currently or later, I like to go, when I have my chain, you have the front of your chain and the back of your chain. I like to go into the bars on the back. So for this, we're going to go into the third chain from our hook with a double crochet, wrapping your yarn around your hook, inserting it into that bar, wrapping your hook yarn, oh, see, I didn't even get it, there you go. Wrapping your yarn around your hook again and pulling through, wrapping your yarn, pulling through 2, and pulling through 2 again. That'll give you your first double crochet. You're going to want to do double crochets in the bar all the way across to the end. How was everybody's week so far? I hope it's going well for everybody. As I mentioned, I do have a new computer, so I'm hoping we won't have any more sudden power outages or connection issues. If we're finally able to upgrade to something newer, we'll see how that goes. Good, Cheryl, glad to hear it. Graham, have you been getting any doggy sweaters ready? My grandmother will be selling dog coats, shirts, vests, whatever you want to call them, in my retail space. We went and hung up a few yesterday, and they were knitted. The store is coming together slowly. The space was probably a little bit bigger than what I actually needed, but with some time and some patience, I'll get it filled in for Christmas. The owner was a little bit frustrated with me because my space looks a little bit empty, even though I have quite a bit of product in there. But I'm trying to remind her that I am a one-man show making things on my own, and I'm not picking things up at yard sales and stuff, so it's going to take time to fill things in. I'm hoping to stop down there tomorrow. I made a few things today. So I'm hoping to go tomorrow and put them up. And I would be so excited to find that something was purchased. But I'm not holding my breath. I got a couple bracelets done tonight and some dishcloths, and I'm hoping to get a couple more things done before bed tonight. And I also want to start on another vest. Those go kind of quick around the holidays. So that's what I'll be using this yarn for. At the end of the stream, I'll be rewinding it into the cake and starting a vest. What all did you guys do? Monday, Tuesday, and today. We had our sewage. We had some sewage issues, and we had the plumber come and look at it and found out that our house had settled and shifted and crushed our drainage pipe. So we had to have a new pipe put in and a totally new path made to the tune of $2,400. So that was super fantastic. That was a great start to my week. So here I have my chain in my first row of double crochet, and in the beginning we had chained 21 and then added 4 for our starting stitch. So counting the V's at the top of our work, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. So if you're using stitch markers, go ahead and mark your first and your last double crochet when you get that far, just so you know where you started and stopped. You don't have to, it's not a requirement. Everything look and sound okay to everybody so far? Just want to make sure there's no issues with connection or anything like that. Technology is a blessing and a curse. Good. Let me know when you reach the end, and we'll go ahead and move on to round 2. no hurry, Cheryl. I know the first row working into that chain, especially if you chain tight, can be a little bit tricky. So don't get in a hurry, don't feel rushed. Show you guys what I worked on today so you can kind of see what I do behind the scenes. Ooh. So this is one of the things that I make often is these bracelets. This one says live long, love much, laugh often. And they're adjustable. They have a little bit of give to them. And then this one says stronger than the storm. So that's what I did today. It's kind of hard to show them on here, but I really enjoy making these. I actually design the words and stuff myself, and then these are laser engraved right into the metal. So that's what I did today. That's all I did today because I had the babies, and the littlest baby did not want to let me put her down to get anything done. Hoping tomorrow to get just a little bit more done, but I'm not going to hold my breath. I'd like to get some tumblers done for the store. I know at the end of Sunday's stream, I was starting to show you guys a picture of the store, and then my power went out. So, oh, another really cool thing. As I had mentioned on Sunday, the channel points that you guys receive. One of the options, if you have 300 channel points. Oh, Grandma, you're crocheting with us. Cool. If you have 300 channel points, you can unlock a random sub emote. Just a cute little perk to use your points on. And my emotes were approved today. So here they are in the chat. If you're a subscriber for tier 1, you'll get one of them. If you're a tier 2 subscriber, you get 2 of them. If you're tier 3, you get 3 of them. I think they're adorable. So that was done today. What is everybody doing for Halloween? I know it's a few weeks away, but I know a lot of people try to plan ahead. You want to make a blanket like Jenny's, don't you? This is a little bit different than the blanket I did for Jenny. That one was created in the round, and this is back and forth, but it's the same idea. It's just not going to be a square blanket if you do this. I think maybe a day that Beth is here, we'll load up in her car, her and the girls and I, and come over and Beth and I will crochet with you. I think that would be fun. Maybe get some lunch. Graham has 23. Okay, good. Everybody has 23. Fantastic. So we're going to go ahead and move on to step 3, which is going to be your second row. You're going to chain 2. I'm actually going to pull this a little closer. You're going to chain 2 and turn your work Remember to always turn in the same direction, just to keep things nice and consistent. And then you're going to do a double crochet in the very first stitch where you have your stitch marker. And you can go ahead, if you want to, you can go ahead and take that stitch marker out and move it up to the stitch you just created. After you've done that, you're going to do a front post double crochet around the post of the next stitch. So that would be here. So we did work on the front post double crochet not that long ago, but we'll go over it again. So you're wrapping your yarn around your hook once. A front post is where you go from the front to the back and then around your double crochet from the previous round or row. Wrap your yarn around your hook and pull through. Wrap your yarn around your hook, pull through 2. Again, around your hook and pull through 2 to complete your double crochet. That is your front post double crochet. So you're doing that is your second stitch. After you've created your front post double crochet, you're going to do 1 double crochet in each of the next 2 stitches. So this is where you're going into the top, just a regular double crochet. For 2 stitches, so there's 1 and 2. No, it is not in where the chain is at, Cheryl. It's going to be, I don't have any moderators on right now, and we're getting spammed. It's going to be at the base of your chain. Let's see. I'm not sure why this isn't letting me delete those messages. So you're going into the base of your chain. I'll show you that one more time. So you have where your chain is coming out from. You have this spot here. That's where you want to put your double crochet at, is here. Thank you, husband, for deleting messages. And then after you've done that, you're going to do your front post double crochet here. So you have your final double crochet from the previous round before we turned, and then the one before that, which is here. You're doing your front post, which is insert from the front to the back and then going around that stitch and completing a double crochet. That will give you your second double crochet. Then after that, you're going to do 2 double crochets, so 1 in each of the next 2 stitches. Being nice and close, you can see the wear and tear on my hook. How long and how frequent I use these guys. So there's 1 and there's 2. Now you're going to do another front post double crochet. Normally we would be going in here. Instead, you're going to want to go around the post. So wrapping your yarn around your hook, inserting your hook from the front to the back, and then around that post, and completing your double crochet. And you're going to continue with this until you reach the end. And it's giving you that three-dimensional look here already. Hope you can see that. So you're doing a front post double crochet and then 2 regular double crochets. That's the pattern that you're doing. So now you're going to do 2 regulars. And I tried to use the biggest hook I could tolerate so you guys could see where my hook was going into. So those are my 2 standard double crochets. And now you're going to do a front post around the next post here. So you're not going in the top, you're going around your post. Is this making sense to everybody so far? How are we doing? Good. Okay, good. Graham, how are you coming along? She probably doesn't want to put her hook down to answer me. Excuse me. Oh, good. So again, you're just doing 2 standard double crochets and then you're doing a front post double crochet across your work. And it's going to give you that little bit of a three-dimensional feel to it. This is creating that waffle look. I've seen some really cute dishcloths done with the waffle stitch where they use a tan yellowish colored yarn to mimic the color of an actual waffle, and then they crochet a little square to look like a piece of butter and attach it. But since using scrubby dishcloths, I don't like to use cotton dishcloths anymore. I like the texture of the scrubby cloth. Now, if you guys notice when I'm crocheting, I like to push my yarn down, my loop down a little bit on the hook, and I hold it with my finger. Not everybody does that, but that's just how I do it, and that's how I kind of maintain my tension a little bit. The longer you crochet, the more you'll be able to figure out what you're doing. My goodness. So once you get to the end, you have one more space here to do a double crochet front post. And then you're going to put one in your chain here. So it finishes off the same as before. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. That gives me 24. So you should have I'm getting off the screen here. You should have, mine's gonna look a little wonky because I'm using a hook way bigger than what I need for the yarn that I'm using. So you have your front posts here are gonna give you that feel of a waffle. Let me know when you get to the end of your row. I hope you guys can see this okay. It's hard because the yarn is a little bit darker. Hopefully you can see that okay. Graham, you're just cruising right along. Look at you go. Okay, good. All right. So now that we've reached the end, you're going to chain 2. Turn your work. And again, just like before, you're going to double crochet into your first stitch. Ooh, that color is crazy. Okay, so you're going to double crochet into your first stitch, and then you're going to front post, double crochet around your next. Then you're going to double crochet, making sure I'm following this properly. Yep, okay. Then you're going to double crochet in the next 2. I'm sorry. I apologize. Let me make sure. I have this wrote down, and I think I goofed when I wrote it. Or I have an extra stitch. That's what I did. I have an extra stitch. Okay, so we're chaining 2. We're double crocheting into the first. Then it should be a front post double crochet around the next 2. And then a double crochet in the next. Yeah. And that gives you the ridge here, if you could see. Gives you the ridge. For Grandma says that she's cruising right along after the first row. Well, yeah, that first row is tricky. So then you should do a front post double crochet around the next 2. And then a double crochet. But my stitches aren't lining up right, and I feel like somewhere along the way, it's my mistake. How's your guys' looking? This is what happens when I'm tired. And this is why I don't work on important projects when I'm tired. I want to make sure it's coming out where it's supposed to, and for some reason on mine it's not. Kind of glad you guys can see me goofing, and maybe it'll help you to not make the same mistakes. There we go. Now it's lining up. So I have my my front post double crochet are pulling these ones to the back here. And then my double crochet is lining up with my previous front post double crochet. Does that make sense? So we're going in this direction. So it's the front post double crochet here, and then your double crochet, and then you're going to do 2 more front post double crochets here. So your front post double crochets of this round should be lining up with your double crochet of the previous round. It's where you should be falling right now. That's why I kept flipping it over and looking, because you're creating this ridge here and here, and then also this way across to give you that separation. It's kind of hard to see with a solid colored yarn, but there is a ridge there that gives you your separation. So next I'm going to do a regular double crochet. And then I'm going to do 2 front post double crochets around the standard double crochets from the previous round. And then a double crochet, and then 2 front post. So you can kind of sort of see my front post here, and then my double crochet creates that little bit of a dip. And then on, yep, I can definitely go over it again. I just wanted to make sure somewhere I think I messed up when I was putting my stitches in the beginning. Let me go ahead and go back. And it's hard to see with this darker colored yarn, but I didn't want to go too light either. Okay. So we're here's us at the end of our second row. So we had our first row double crochet here, and then the next row is where we started our front post, and then 2 double crochet, and then a front post, and then 2 double crochet. So you're going to chain 2. If you finish like I did, you will have a front post double crochet, and then you'll finish with a standard double crochet. So then you're chaining 2, turning your work, you're going to double crochet into the very first stitch, then you're going to front post around the next 2, then then a double crochet, 1 double crochet in the next stitch, then 2 front post double crochet I will post in the Discord and on the Facebook page when we're done this pattern so you can work on it and read it if that will help. Then a double crochet, and I think what I did before is one of my regular double crochet got put in the wrong stitch, and that's what was messing me up, because now everything's falling where it should. So on this row you're doing 2 front post, 1 regular double crochet. So next is 2 front post, and 1 regular double crochet into the next stitch. I think the hardest thing when doing the front post double crochet is normally you would go into the top here, and because you're going around the post like this, whoops, if you get that stitch moved the wrong way, the first thing you see is this stitch here, and that should actually be behind your front post. So it can mess you up. So there's my 2 front posts. Now we're going to do a double crochet. I keep wanting to say single double crochet, but that doesn't really sound quite right. 2 front posts. And then 1 double crochet, and going with that pattern all the way to the end. And if you flip it over and you look, like I said, you just want your lines to match up so that you have your ridge going across and then your ridge going up and down to create that waffle. It's hard to get it at quite, but you can see it here and here where my finger kind of sits in. There's a dip, and then it's starting to form up here as well. So you have the 2 double crochet and then a front post. Let me see if I can pull it in. I don't think it'll make it so you can see it any better, but we'll try. You can kind of see that ridge right here. So when you flip your work over, you want to see that that ridge is forming to give you the squares. Does that make more sense? Good. It just took me a minute to find out where I made my mistake in the very beginning. I love the feel when I run my hands across it, and it has that little bit of a bumpy feel to it. There's definitely an obvious front of your work and back of your work. So at the end, you should have a front post. That stitch looks like I might have. And then you can do into your chain from the previous row. You can either go into the chain for your final double crochet, or you can go around it. It's up to you. However you want to finish that edge. And let me know when you reach the end, and we'll go ahead and move on to the next row, which this is a repeating pattern. Excuse me, I'm getting a drink of my lemon flavored water, sparkling water, because we're expensive. No, it's not lemonade. It's water. It doesn't say lemonade. It says lemon flavored water. So anybody who is a subscriber should have the little emoji that I just put in the chat with the little heart. And if you're not a subscriber, you can go ahead and subscribe if you'd like to, or you can use your channel points by clicking on the little purple ball of yarn at the bottom left of your chat menu. And it takes 300 channel points to unlock a random sub emote. So Graham, you should have the little heart, the little girl squeezing the heart. So when you're done, you should put her in the chat. Cheryl's good. We're just waiting on Graham, and then we will go ahead and move on to the next row. So being that this is a repeating pattern, the next row will be the same as this row here. Cheryl, do you have the ridges in your work, creating that waffle pattern? Good. It's hard to show it on the screen. But if you guys notice on the left-hand side of the screen, there is like an aqua and grayish colored design. It is hard to see. The picture on your screen is on the left-hand side, or I'm sorry, on the right-hand side. That aqua and grayish color, that is also a waffle stitch. It's just turned. So maybe you can see the ridges in that a little bit better. Okay, Graham is to the end. So now we're going to go ahead and move on to the next row, which is the start of the repeat. So you're going to chain 2 and turn your work. And then you're going to put a double crochet in your first stitch. And then you're going to do a front post double crochet. So you now have your edge. And then you're going to do 2 regular double crochet. And then you're going to do a front post here, so you can kind of see it. There's a front post here, then your line, and then a front post here. So what will happen is when we flip our work again for the next repeat row, it's going to create the ridge here. So you'll actually get a full square. Trying to get the light to catch it just right. So you're going to do 2 double crochet and then 1 front post, and then 2 double crochet and 1 front post all the way to the end. The yarn that I used for my niece's blanket that was a waffle stitch pattern was a mixture of like 2 different shades of pink and a white. So it was really easy to see the waffle stitch pattern throughout the blanket. Just like everything, when you're using a solid color, or in my case, I'm using a variegated yarn, but the colorway, it's long sections of each color, so it doesn't change as fast. You don't see it quite as well. If we tip it this way, you can kind of see the ridges here, and then across. It creates like little pockets here. Let me know when you reach the end. And I'd like to do one more repeat row, and then that'll kind of finish it for the end of the night. And I think on Sunday, because we're doing that, we're using the double crochet. You have pockets, yay! I think on Sunday I want to do a chevron pattern to show you guys how to get the zigzag chevron blankets, if everybody's okay with that. And it'll still be using the the double crochet, but we're gonna do the decrease stitches to show you guys how that works. So I've reached the end of my row, and I have my little pockets, my little squares. It's so hard to get the light to catch it just right so you can see it on the camera. But they're there. So this is how the back of it looks. You have the 2 double crochets that stick up on the back. And then on the front, you have just the single bar here. Let me know when you guys are at the end of your row. We have one more row to do. grams at the end. Oh, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome. If you're new, be sure to say hello in the chat. Let me know if you've crocheted before or if this is new to you. Either way, welcome, welcome. Thanks for joining. We're just about finished for the night, but the videos will be up on Twitch afterwards for you to go back and watch later on. Be sure, if you're new, to join our Discord and or our Facebook. And you're more than welcome to ask me any questions in the Discord or the Facebook, and as I'm able, I will get them answered for you as quickly as possible. And tonight we are working on the Waffle Stitch. So we're going to do our final row here to give you the repeat. So hopefully you can see the sections of squares. So you're going to chain 2, and you're going to rotate your work. You're going to front post around this stitch here. Yep. Are we? No, we're going to double crochet. Nobody caught me in that one. So we're going to double crochet here, and we're going to front post these stitches here. Those are going to be your front post double crochet. So when we're done with stream, I'll go ahead and put the steps in the Discord for you so that you can continue practicing if you'd like, or you can go back and watch the video. Now you're going to double crochet in the next stitch. Remember to go on the top. Two front posts here. Front post double crochet around each. And continue that pattern across to the end. So now you're doing a regular double crochet here. Two front post double crochets here, one in each stitch, going around the post from the previous row. And a regular double crochet here. If I can find the time, I would like to redo some of my videos for things like the shell stitch, because those were deleted due to poor quality with me having issues with my internet and my computers and stuff, or I can redo those with you guys if you would like. It's up to you. Let me know which you would prefer. If you don't want to work on it again, I'll just redo it another night through the week, maybe a Friday. You want to redo, Cheryl? Okay. Sunday we'll do a chevron, and then next Wednesday we can go back and redo the shell stitch, because I think part of the issue with my internet problems was my computer that I was using. So I think it will work a little bit better now. And we can go ahead and go over that again. Which I think, nope, that's a V-stitch. Cheryl, did you do any more with your V-stitch after stream on Sunday? I still have my little swatch over here where we did the V-stitch. Oh, good. Well, be sure to share pictures with us and let us know how that blanket is coming along. I'd love to see it. You still have yours too. Yeah, mine's sitting over here next to me. So when you get to the end, you'll have your double crochet. You'll do a front post here, and then going around or into your chain here with a double crochet. See, I hate going into the chain. It's always a problem for me to complete that row. Now, when you flip it over, and this is where I'm sad that you can't see it very well because it looks so cool. You have a line here and a line here. Then you have your lines going up. So you should have one complete, it's so stretchy. You should have one complete set of squares with all four sides, your little pockets, when you finish that row. So you should have all of your lines lining up and being nice and straight. You do! Great, Graham, that's awesome! And the pockets, the little pockets create that waffle stitch, that waffle pattern. So it's hard to get it, but there's a line here and here, and then a line here and here. Yes, save it. We'll get over there within the next couple days. I'd love to see it. So it gives it a nice texture, and you're only doing it with a double crochet, not a overly complicated stitch. It's just you have to pay attention to make sure that your front posts are falling in the right spot. So when you're working on your project with your squares facing you, your front posts will line up here, and your double crochets in between are what create the pockets. When you have your project facing with your squares away from you is when you'll have your two front post double crochet side by side and a single double crochet. That's the best way I can explain to remember it. You just want to make sure that your front post double crochet is always going around the stitches that are sticking up on the side that's facing you. So if I were to go back through again, I would be putting my front post double crochet here and here. And then my double crochet would go here beside it. So like I said, I'll put all of that in the Discord and on the Facebook for you guys. And feel free to go back and rewatch the video if you get stuck, or if you want to tear this out and start again, or if you want to actually make a blanket. Just remember your starting chain is going to be in multiples of 3, and then when you get to the end of your multiples of 3, you add 4 more, and that'll give you your width. The bigger the hook that you use, the more of a gap your blanket is going to have, but also the less stiff. Typically, I would have used an I or a J hook with this yarn. I wouldn't have used my K hook, but I wanted the gaps. I wanted you guys to easily see where I was inserting my hook and creating that pattern. Cheryl, how is that coming along for you? Is the pattern working out for you okay? Are you getting the design that you should be? Good. This is the first stream in a while that you haven't just thrown your hands up and given up. So that's awesome. Guess we should have done the waffle stitch sooner. I know my gram wanted to work on it, so I had been meaning to do it for a while. So I think Sunday we'll go ahead and we'll do the chevron stitch, the chevron pattern that will give you the zigzag effect in your blanket. And then next Wednesday, so a week from today, we'll go ahead and redo the shell stitch. All of these utilizing the double crochet, which is most used quite frequently, I think. My bird is out there laughing. I don't know if you can hear her or not. Do you guys have any questions? As soon as I end stream, I will make sure to type up the directions for you, the pattern for you, and put it in Facebook and Discord, and then I will pin the Facebook post to the top. And excuse me. Oh, Cheryl, you're very much welcome. I'm glad that it worked out for you okay this time. In the Discord, I'm going to put the pattern under the patterns channel. I'll just type it up for you guys. And I'll pin it there as well. If there's no questions, then I'm going to go ahead and get signed off and type that up for you. And then it is time for me to go for my night walk. And I will see you guys on Sunday, on Sunday at 7 p.m. So be ready for your chevron. And I hope you guys have a beautiful rest of your week. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for the new follow. And if you have any questions, let me know in the Discord or the Facebook, and I'll be happy to help you. Have a wonderful, wonderful evening. Graham, I will definitely give you a call. Bye, guys.